Hey, all right, there we go. Finally, had a little bit of technical difficulty there. Yeah, big story, of course, going on right now is that Blaney, the thing was overturned there. Kevin Harvick going to run that nice looking scheme at Miami, and Corey Heim returning to, of course, Tricon for Toyota. A lot of people had Toyota putting him in the Joe Gibbs rides over there in Xfinity. So it's going to be interesting to see how that Xfinity deal shakes out over there for Joe Gibbs Racing. But we will jump into whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm going to come up with a poll question too. So let's see here. What's a good poll question? We'll just start it off with that because a lot of people are talking about the Kevin Harvick penalty, of course, where he got he got the penalty for the roof screws or whatever. So a lot of people are talking about that. So we'll have to see where it leads here. But let's start off with this one. NASCAR disqualified the disqualification of the 12, that's for sure. And I said we have investigated ourselves and deemed ourselves to be wrong. No appeal needed. NASCAR appeals NASCAR decision, says Shah. That's pretty much it. I can't remember another time where nobody even had to file an appeal. They just NASCAR just overturned it themselves. I can't, off the top of my head, think of one. Every other time one of these things has been overturned, it's been because of an appeal. So I thought that was interesting as well. Blaney has a chance, but needs to finish better than the 20, the 45, the 19, and 11 in stages, and finishes to advance on points. Yeah, so even before this started off, he was last place in points, so he does have his work cut out for him. Winning at Martinsville is probably more likely, says Napa Race fan. Yeah, he's pretty good at Martinsville. So we'll just have to see what happens. It's been a chaotic playoffs. So we'll just have to see what happens. Blaney is what now? -17. Seems doable, says Shy. Yeah, I think he's one spot. He did pick up one spot overall. He was in 8th. I think he's now in 7th. So if he can keep doing that, he will have a good chance by the time Martinsville rolls around. Blaney has a better chance than Busher anyways, says Shy. Yeah, Busher is unless Busher can score a significant amount of stage points, he's almost in win or go home territory as well. I agree with that 100%. What's up, Baloney? Says in between the lanes. What's up in between the lanes? And what's up, one wise guy? Good to see both of y'all on here as always. Maybe you think the 42 will be a Toyota this weekend, then go back to Chevy, says OJ and Toothpaste. No, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Chevrolet, but it is interesting that both of those sides were able to come to an agreement and let him get at least one race in before they make the switch to Camrys. And, of course, he takes over full-time next season. Really, really interesting. Let's see. Blaney versus Harvick penalty is apples to oranges, says Shah. Yeah, in some ways it is, but it's just one of those things. Like it's totally just going to be wherever you stand at fandom-wise. You're either going to think Kevin Harvick was screwed over and they let and Stewart Haas keeps getting screwed over because Stewart Haas hasn't gotten out of any of their penalties, basically, is that side of it. Then the other side of it is, well, they just figured out that they made a mistake on Blaney. So, I mean, it's just it just depends on how you look at it. It's all in how you look at it for your fandom. Looks like Larson is all but a lock, says one wise guy. Yeah, he's got a really good chance going into Phoenix. Typically, it bodes well if you win the first race in the round of 8 for your title hopes. So we'll have to see what happens there. Not going to get my hopes up until I see the other Final 4 there. Then I'll break down the numbers and I'll try to figure out exactly what I think his probability of winning is. But definitely off to a good start. So we'll have to see what happens. Will he join Joey Logano as the next two-time in this format champion? 42 is a Chevy for 2023. Can't change just for Nemechek. Chevy and Toyota made a deal for him to be in this weekend's race as an Napa Race fan. That's for sure. But I think the reason they bring it up is because if you remember Bill Davis back in the day, Bill Davis had that falling out with Dodge. They knew he was going over to Toyota or whatever, so he just ran a Toyota nose, but he didn't put any badging on it. So that's I think that's what they were getting at there. This just in, Baloney Burger, let me say this. I was wrong about the F1 race being in Las Vegas this weekend. Says in between lanes, it's all good, my friend. Don't worry about it. What's good, y'all? Says Steve Easy. Steve Easy, what's up, man? Hope you're doing good. My friend, what's up, BB and crew? NASCAR just keeps shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, so either way you look at it, NASCAR doesn't look particularly good here because you've got officials that don't know how to use the equipment to measure things is just the way it looks. And regardless of which side you stand on, NASCAR looks like their officials are inept. So throwing the officials under the bus, or the officials are inept. Either way you look at it. Harvick with the 2014 championship Budweiser scheme, that's for sure. And there's the 2014 Budweiser championship hat. I got a rotation of Kevin Harvick hats that I'm going to throw on here today. This is the hat that I used to wear at the factory back in the day. Still got some lint on it, I think, or maybe that's some oil or grease. I don't know. Now, let's see here. Las Vegas GP is 1 week before Thanksgiving, says Napa Racing fans. So, yeah, there you go. 1 week before Thanksgiving. That's a nice way to slot it in. So that'll be pretty cool. Just wondering if they use that template on the other cars after Blaney's disqualification, and did their measurements come out right, says Johnny Jet. Apparently it did. Either that or Blaney was the last car that was used. So it's hard to say. It would make sense that Blaney was the last car used if the set screw that they were talking about came out and slid down. So that would make sense that Blaney's car was the last one through the post-race tech. But I can't say for sure. I haven't heard the actual order of how many cars were before or after Blaney there. Howdy from the Great White North. What's up, Robin Marks? And what is up? Canada, BB, do you think Rajah Caruth will win Phoenix in Xfinity? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know which team he's driving for in Xfinity, to be totally honest with you. Like I said, I keep up with some Xfinity stuff, but I'm not like super on top of it. Same thing with trucks. And the reason for that is I'm typically at the racetracks on Saturday, so I really, and Friday we're practicing, so I really just it's hard for me to keep up with those series because I don't get to see them live very often. But when I do get to see them live, it is really cool. So yeah, not sure. I think Rajah Caruth is a good talent. I think as long as they stick with him and keep developing him, I think he's got a bright future. He was really good at Hickory. The times I saw him race at Hickory, so I think he'll figure it out. The more seat time he gets, I guess I should say seat time. All about seat time. Hey, y'all from North Idaho. Hey, Mark, B, and One Wise Guy. What's up, Cassandra? Hope you're doing good. Cassandra saying hi to Robin as well. I think Kyle Larson, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott are the first drivers with 2024 Diecast. Yeah, Hendrick is usually the first to the punch with the Diecast game 9 times out of 10 on that deal. I remember that from like way back in the day. So luckily for Hendrick, and usually second to the ball used to be Joe Gibbs Racing, but now with the sponsor fluctuation and stuff, I guess that Joe Gibbs Racing has gone through, they were usually Hendrick and Joe Gibbs Racing were usually Johnny on the spot with that stuff. Penske is normally pretty quick with it too, and SHR up until about 3 years ago was actually pretty Johnny on the spot with it as well. I think SHR got screwed over with a loose window. It was a loose window, not like NASCAR loosen the nuts, says Shy. Yeah, so invest in Loctite. That's all I can tell you. Maybe Rodney needs to play that up to get a Loctite sponsorship for himself. Hostfar earned to have the 42 for the rest of the season. Understand the deal, but it's stupid. All because Legacy and the Chevy traders moved to Toyota. Yeah, so from Hostfar's perspective, it sucks. But if you're looking at it from 2311. If you're looking at it from Legacy Motor Club's perspective, they're trying to get a head start on getting a jump with that crew chief driver development, getting that communication and getting all the little small bugs worked out. So give them one run. So if depending on which side of it you look at, it's one of those things too. I understand it from both sides. I do think it stinks for Carson Hostvar. I don't think you could do much more in that car to prove your worth, but he's got a ride for next season. He'll be in the Cup Series next season. So it all worked out at the end of the day. So at least that opportunity is not going to affect his future. So I will say that. Big win for the Jets. Jets this weekend as well. Says in between the lanes. Yeah, my team, we lost to the Cleveland Browns. So everything was going good. And then now we've lost to the Browns. Christian McCaffrey's hurt. Deebo Samuels is hurt. So, but yeah, congrats on the Jets. Well, made it all about my team. Sorry about that. Congrats to the Jets. It was a big win for them. I think it was on DBC the other day. They said those windshield screws, the airplane style screws, are designed not to back out, says Aaron Flynn. I don't know. Like, without me physically looking at them and seeing what went down, it's hard for me to first off think they were getting an advantage there. But it is a rule. A rule's a rule. So, and NASCAR said with this new rules package that, you know, there's no gray area. So the rule's the rule. So letter of the law, it was, you know, technically a violation. But that being said, I don't think there was any advantage gained there. I don't think Honestly, because typically when Rodney Childers gets caught cheating and he's cheating, he says, "Yeah, I was cheating." He didn't say, "Yeah, I was cheating" this time. So I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things. Yes, I agree with you. It probably is designed not to back out. But the Titanic was designed not to sink. So, and you see how that worked out. So you never know. Stuff happens. If Ford doesn't make it to the Final Four, which probably won't happen, and nothing but Yoda's, I'm out, says Mark Johnson. Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what happens there. Like a lot of manufacturer based people that pull for their manufacturer. It is going to be interesting if Ford is not represented, how that's going to affect the ratings and stuff like that. That's a good point you bring up there for sure. And a lot of people are speculating the reason the playoffs aren't getting watched as much this year is because Chase Elliott is not in them. So that's another interesting point to make too. Super close to being a Hendrick Gibbs championship Final Four. Just didn't expect Truex to flounder like he has. Says one wise guy. That being said, he's still in it. So I mean, he's almost played the system perfectly in a way. So I don't know. He hasn't looked good, but he looked better last weekend than he's looked in a long time. If it hadn't been for the terrible, and I hate to say terrible pick call because I think James Small's a really good crew chief, but in my opinion, he missed that call, and he's a really good crew chief, and I hate saying that, but I think he did miss that call, and I think he would admit that he missed that call. But that being said, he probably expected more cars to stay out there, but because of that call, he probably cost Martin Truex a top 3 or top 5 there. Shy says, "Hello, everyone. What's up, Shy?" And one wise guy saying, "Hey to Cassandra." Tenny Hamlin bounced back with the Mavis colors this weekend. Yes, yeah, so another. Did he get a top 10? I can't remember if he got 10th or 11th with the whole Blaney fluctuation thing, but I think he got a top 10 if I remember correctly. Let's see. Truex crew chief keeps making blunders. Yeah, I don't know about keeps making blunders, but this one was definitely a very speculative call. I do call into question why be that aggressive when you've got a car that good. I guess that's what I'll say about it. I feel like he had close to a race winning car if the race played out like it played out for a short run, and that's why Kyle Larson won. But if it had played out for a long run, I think Truex would have been in the thick of it for sure. Camaro 50, what's up, my friend? All year long, says Shy. So I haven't followed it that much, but he does get a lot of criticism. The other guy that gets a lot of criticism, of course, is for whatever reason, Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott fans. I don't get it. Alan Gustafson, I think, is a hell of a crew chief. I think James Small's a hell of a crew chief too, but I don't know. Their fans are not seeing eye on that one. Blaney can get it done at Martinsville. Busher is likely done, but had a good run, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, I feel like Chris Buescher, if he can score a ton of stage points, though, I think he can get right back in it. So I don't think he's totally out of it. He's still got a way that he can point his way in, but more than likely he's going to have to win his way in. But look at it this way, man. Roush Fenway has had some crazy good speed. So if Roush Fenway comes to Homestead and has crazy good speed, and we might not even be talking about this. This playoff has been so very volatile. Just been up and down. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Buescher win this weekend or at Martinsville. Old senior fan, I was at Rockingham the weekend after senior pass, sitting on the Hamlet side. Steve Park won the race. Seems like it was yesterday, says Massey Ferguson. Yep, I remember that race very well. And then the next race, I think, was the third race of the season, and Kevin Harvick, I think, ends up winning that at Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty cool that the team that Earnhardt owned and then the team that Earnhardt drove for won the next 2 races. So and the Daytona 500 team, of course, he owned, won that too. 49ers will bounce back. Baloney Burger says in between the lanes. I hope so. I hope so. We're off to a good season, good start to the season. So hopefully we keep the momentum going. Gould is no good, says one wise guy. I thought they were going to put illegal parts on display. Yeah, but apparently since they deemed it not illegal, it's no longer an illegal part, so it's not on display. SHR is under the microscope. That's why I feel like they got screwed over a lot, says Shaw. So, yeah, for whatever reason, NASCAR and SHR are just like button heads. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why, but that's they seem to be on the rough end of the stick. RFK last season was actually the SHR stand-in, because last season RFK was the team getting picked on, if you want to look at it that way. Tony Stewart made NASCAR mad, says Shad. I mean, that might play into it. Human relationships are part of every business dynamic, the biggest part of every business dynamic, I would say. Who will Harvick have a harder time carrying? SHR, like he has pretty much joined since 2014, or Fox. Tough call, but I say Fox. I think he'll be all right. I mean, don't underestimate Mike Joy. Mike Joy is a pretty good announcer. Obviously, he's closer to the end of his career than the beginning, but he's still pretty damn good. He's got a lot of knowledge up there. So I don't know if they could just get Clint Boyer to stop playing a caricature of Clint Boyer and just be Clint Boyer, the real guy, the real Clint Boyer. I think they would be better off. And Harvick might be the guy that like sort of keeps him in check. Like I don't know. We'll just have to see. And I like Boyer. I'm just saying sometimes he's a bit much. Like I will say that. Truex picked up speed in the last 30 laps, says one wise guy. Titanic was a pilot error. Kevin didn't do anything wrong forever, says Aaron Flynn. Yeah, I was talking about the screws, so I wasn't comparing anything to that. So the screws in your particular analogy would be a design error. Titanic was also a design error as well. So let's see here, because they didn't seal off any of the hull sections. I'm not going to get into the engineering side of it because that's boring. But it was the Titanic taught people how to build boats. We'll put it that way, ships, if you will. Truex picked up the speed in the last 30 laps, says one wise guy. Yeah, for sure. Like him, Kyle Busch, and Christopher Bell. Those last 30 laps, they took off like nobody else in the field had taken off. OBB, you always stick up for the crew chiefs. They make mistakes, but as a driver, it's ultimately up to me. I can just say, screw you, crew chief. I'm pitting or staying out, says Shaw. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the driver makes the decision. So if he had come down pit road, they would have done it. So it is what it is. I'm not sticking up for anybody. But like I said, I think James Small missed the call there. But like I said, I'm not going to sit here and act like James Small isn't a really good crew chief. So, I mean, both things can be accurate. He's a good crew chief. He missed that call, though, in my opinion. And I'm not going to put it on the driver because as the driver, you have to have trust in those people to make the right calls. So I can't really put it on the driver. I think James Small missed the call there. Mr. Pearson, what's up, my friend? What's up, BB? How you doing? What's up, Chrome Diesel? I'm doing good. Hope you are as well. In between the lanes, I think I asked you this before, BB. When it comes to NASCAR diecast, do you make a list of each driver and what diecast you want? Example, Kyle Busch when he had the M&M sponsorship, etc. I don't necessarily make a list like that. It's just if one has like, at this point, it has to have like really special meaning because I've got all that going on. So it has to be one with like a really, really special meaning to me. Like one I'm looking at and thinking hard about getting when it actually comes out because I've missed the pre-order window, I'm pretty sure, is the Kyle Larson Martinsville win. So I'm thinking about getting that one, and then I'll put the Las Vegas win. I'll probably put that one for sale on eBay to counter the cost. But because I was at that race, it means a little bit more. So I thought that was pretty cool. So it has to be something like that at this point, or it just has to be like a really, really awesome paint scheme that I super do. I don't really have one up there. Yeah, okay, there we go. So like that Tim Richmond, that Alex Bowman Tim Richmond, nothing special about that car other than the paint scheme, and so I got that one. So it's stuff like that. It's no particular rhyme or reason to it. Just sort of whatever strikes my fancy, and if I have money that week, to be totally honest. And this one, I pretty much I knew this would be close to Kevin Harvick's last win, and if it wasn't, I was going to put this one on eBay and get the one that was his last win. So that's why that Kevin Harvick one is there. Any Richard Petty win at this point, super special. So I had to get that one as well. And RCR, whenever the 3-car wins, I consider buying that as well. So good on Austin Dillon for getting that dub over there. I think that was the Daytona win, if I'm not mistaken. Lordy, I'll take Boyer over Burton all day long, says Shaw. So yeah, it's all in who you prefer. Look, I don't want to sit here and rag out any of the media guys, but like, you like the ones you like, you don't like the ones you don't like. So it is what it is. Baloney Burger to the 49ers says in between the lanes. Yeah, I'll be the backup to the backup. I guess I could be third string behind Juszczyk for fullback at this point. Let's see, but just ultimately, I would be in there for blocking, and as they ran me over, I would try to pull them to the ground with me and not get a flag for doing that. With Legacy switch over to the next season, will John Hunter get an edge on the next season, or is Toyota equipment that much different from Chevy? I feel like the overall feel of the car is probably pretty similar. I think the engineers, with the differences in the nose, the engineers would be able to tell you more of the difference. But I think I think at the end of the day, you can get them all driving pretty close to each other. But some cars obviously are going to have more speed and better speed at certain tracks. Like you see, the best example is Ford at the plate tracks. They can just push each other better because they have that flat front nose. Now, whether they carry that design over to the next, because they're getting a new nose coming up here, so we'll have to see if they carry that over. Got to have faith, live or die as a team, yada yada yada. Says Shaw. Here we go. Yeah, I'm giving basically the scripted response, I guess. According to Shaw, Elite Precision, what's up, my friend? Good to see you on here. Elite's got a video dropping. It dropped today, didn't it? I think. So check out his new video that's out. But if my car is chattering and they say stay out, well, screw it. I am pitting. So yeah, in that particular situation, you're the driver and you know better than they do. So you got to know, use your best judgment. I mean, I do agree with you there. But as far as coming in, when to pit, when not to pit, you got to assume that the whole war room or whatever they've got this doing all the strategizing and all that stuff. You got to have faith in them. So if they tell you to stay out, you got to stay out. But if they make a bad call, they need to own the fact that they made a bad call. Just like as a driver, if you make a mistake driving the race car, you got to own it and say like, hey, look, I made a mistake. I cost us the win here. Chrome Diesel saying what's up to Elite, and what up says Elite last really good or great race of the year at Homestead. Martinsville not great with the package, and Phoenix as well. Phoenix says Napa Racing fan. So he's thinking this is going to be the last great race. I don't know. Every once in a while, Martinsville puts on a barn burner. Like last year's race wasn't great, but you did get the wall ride that is now illegal. So at the end of the race, there was at least some excitement there. But yeah, I 100% get what you're saying. Last really, I just read that one. I forgot Ford got the new Mustang coming up next year. Yeah. So that's going to be the interesting thing. Ford's got a new nose coming out. I think Toyota has a new nose coming out because I think the Camry is getting a makeover as well. So I think those two will have a new nose. Chevrolet, they should have the exact same car because the Camaro is not changing until they phase it out and bring whatever body they're gonna use to replace it. I don't want to really get into that argument because that gets pretty wild. But yeah. I think it's going to be super interesting going forward. Numbers for Homestead and merch. Yeah, so let me see if it's still saved in here. Yep, it is. There you go. That is the merch right there. And let me pull up the numbers for Homestead. I actually think I have those actually pulled up. I do. So there you go. Since February 2020, Kyle Larson has an average finish of 2.5. So he's got to be your favorite at Homestead here. He has one win, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s, 204 laps led, average start of 11th, best finish of 1st, worst finish of 4th. And let's see here. Next on the list for average, I'll just go by average finish. I'll just do the thing that I'm going to do on Sunday, but we'll do it early here. Allmendinger is a 3.0 average finish. Denny Hamlin, 6.3. Martin Truex Jr., 7.0. Willie B, 7.3. 7.7 for Dylan. 8.3 for Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain at a 9.5, and 10.0 for Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski 10.3. And then some guys that might surprise you with how good they're here is Michael McDowell has an average finish of 12.3 since 2020, so don't sleep on him. Kurt Busch has a good average finish, so that bodes well for 23-11. Kevin Harvick with an average finish of 13.0. Christopher Bell, nope, Tyler Reddick. Looks like Tyler Reddick, I think, is going to have the worst average finish of the remaining playoff drivers. Nope, here we go. Jump down here to Blaney. 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 Ryan Blaney is going to have the worst average finish of your playoff drivers here with 16.3. All right, let's go to previous winners in the last 3 races since 2020, of course. Byron, Hamlin, and Larson have won here, and then we'll go to laps led because that's a pretty good indicator of who's good there. And you've got the same 3, Larson, Hamlin, and Byron. Ryan Blaney up there, even though he's got the worst average finish, he has led 70 laps here. So he is the next best at 70. Then you got Truex at 65, and everybody else is kind of below 60 there. So not much to see there. And let's go to average rating here from driveraverages.com. They got Kyle Larson as your favorite, William Byron as your second favorite, Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin. So it's like the season has looked and like the last few seasons has looked, it looks like it's going to be JGR versus Hendrick. here for the shootout. But don't count out Brad Keselowski, AJ Allmendinger, and Chase Elliott, as they're all in that mix too. Tyler Reddick in the mix as well. All right, let's jump back. Time to bring in the Chevy Malibu, says Elite Precision. Yeah, I like it. Hey, I like it. I like it. If they, as long as they can flatten the nose, like maybe you run the Malibu for the super speedways and run the Chevrolet Camaro for all the other tracks. Isn't Ford supposed to get a new body next year? Says Chrome Diesel. Well, the bodies all stay the same. Just the nose and maybe the rear bumper change. So whenever you get a whole new car, I think the only thing you can really change on this new car is the nose, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Nose jobs, and I think the hood vents are different on each car too. So I think the hood and the nose are the only things that really change on these cars. Nose jobs for everyone, says Shy. I don't understand why Toyota is getting a new front clip. I think they are, because I think the Camry is changing. I think there's a new generation. Let me pull that up real quick, because I'm pretty sure the Camry has a new generation coming next year. Yeah, so the 2025 Camry will have a different look, so which will be sold in 2024. And so if they want to change it, they will have that opportunity to change it. So next season, I know Ford will have one, but if Toyota wants to go ahead and change their nose next season, they'll be able to do that too, because you can sell the 2025s and the 2024, the 2025 model year in 2024. Let's see, Phoenix is okay at the very best. We need a new track for the championship race. I don't see the playoffs going away anytime soon. They'll probably try to keep the playoffs as long as they can, because for whatever reason, TV likes that, even though the TV numbers keep going down. I guess they're blaming that on the fact that everybody is just going more towards streaming and stuff like that. So I guess they're going to keep riding that one. Butt lifts, says Shy. The wall ride was the last good thing NASCAR had going for it, and they banned it, says T-Van. They banned it for safety reasons, is the official reason in there. Chevy needs to stay. They don't necessarily have to ditch the Camaro right away. They could race it another year until they find something else. Yeah, that's basically what they did with the Chevy SS. They raced it well after, I think, a year or two after it stopped really being in production. But Reddick has a good finish this weekend, says one wise guy. I'd love to see McDowell get another trophy, says T-Van. That would be pretty cool. I would like to see one more, at least one more upset of non-playoff drivers. It is time to probably should switch hats here at some point. I said I was going to switch hats because Kevin Harvick's running the Budweiser scheme again. Ross was so cool last year, doing ridiculous things. This is the year that has been mundane. They tamed the stallion. They gelded him, says Shaw. I don't think they necessarily gelded him. If you watched that race this Sunday, he was far from being tamed. He was making it 3 wide and getting pretty aggressive with playoff drivers around him. So I think he has learned how to pick his spots better, but I think he definitely still drives pretty aggressively. Sanchez plus 3 for the championship 4, says Napa Race fan. Crafton for that win, says T-Van. What happened to Chastain? Hendrick put out the warning, and he's been a whooped pup ever since. I don't know. He was I don't know. I probably would have agreed with you until last weekend, but last weekend I saw the Ross of old. So I will say that when the TV deal gets done, January the 2024, the Athletic, I want to say, put out an article, or maybe it was the Sports Business Journal, one or the other. If Xfinity has theirs, I don't quite understand why trucks don't get it yet, especially Fox stays, which is very unlikely, says Napa Race fan. Well, Fox and NBC are still interested, so they have put in their offers. Their offers apparently are they've increased how much money they're going to give NASCAR, but just very slightly. And I think the thing that's holding it up is there is a 6-race streaming package, and they're trying to figure out who's going to get that. So I think that's the actual holdup. Can you explain how the manufacturer championship works? Says Chrome Diesel. Yeah. So basically, the manufacturing championship is whoever wins the race gets the race win points. Then the next car that finishes gets whatever points are for that finishing spot. So if the second, let's say 3 Fords finish 1, 2, 3. So Ford would get the championship winning points for finishing first. Then whichever car manufacturer finished second, let's say Toyota or an ad, a freaking ad just popped up and I missed it. Let's say whoever finishes second there has to would be Ford, so they would get 4th place points. So Ford would get the 4th place points, so on and so forth. So it doesn't go. You don't get an automatic. Whoever finishes next position gets X amount of points. It's wherever the next position of that manufacturer finishes. That's how much points they get. Just another season not to trust NASCAR, says Mark Langren. I heard Max has now entered the TV negotiations, says one wise guy. Hey, so maybe they have. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Richard Petty wants Rockingham to return. A lot of people want Rockingham to return. The only problem with that is where are you going to slot that in? I never said Ross was not aggressive, but last year he pushed every rule racing imaginable, and in my opinion, that's how you excel, says Shop. So, yeah, he's not as aggressive as he was last year, but I think that he is. I think that he's working. He's working on picking his spots. But last race, I saw the old Ross. So I would say I would agree with you before last race. But last race, I saw the old Ross. He was throwing it in there. So I don't know. Update on the Fiat, says one wise guy. I haven't found one yet at a reasonable price. Like, I just don't want to get I don't want to put myself in a position that I overpay for the car just because I need the car like right now. So I'm trying to get a decent price on it. The cheapest I can find right now are like $6,000, and I know I can get them for way cheaper than that. Like, so, especially since I'm going to modify it, so I don't want to pay that much money for something I'm going to modify. But I'm going to find one at some point. So I might have to just do the Nissan project first. But don't worry, we will get the Fiat. I'm just be all right, smacking drivers out of the way. He says, but this year, yeesh. House racing will get screwed because they are vocal against NASCAR. I agree that they probably put themselves in a bad position because Tony Stewart is not afraid to speak out against NASCAR. So I will agree with you to an extent there, but I can't prove it. So it's hard for me to prove it. So it's hard to prove. Ross is still aggressive. He's just picking his spots better. Yeah, I 100% agree with you there, Elite. I think that's exactly what the case is. Has Noah officially signed, says one wise guy. He keeps putting out these little like promos and stuff like that, but he hasn't. And Bob Cochran linked him to the SHR team, but he hasn't. There hasn't been anything official yet. But I'm pretty sure that he's in the strong running to be in that 10 car. Mark Langer says run a Porsche. I can probably find a Porsche for about the same price right now that I can find a Fiat. But that being said, for what I'm going to do with the Fiat, I don't think you would want to see me do that to a Porsche. He was the closest to the wall in 1 and 2 this past weekend. It came back to bite him, but it just shows that he's driving on the edge like usual. Yeah, and the other thing is, I think as far as car control, in this particular car, him and Kyle Larson seem to have the best car control. Because when they lose the car, they can gather it back up without totally destroying it. And I'm not trying to pick on Alex Bowman, but case in point, you saw Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman have a very similar type of incident, and Kyle Larson saved it. Alex Bowman, he overcorrected and hit the wall. When Ross Chastain got up there close to the wall, he didn't pack it into the wall. He was able to keep it going with sort of minimal damage to the car. So for whatever reason, I think they figured out the balance of this rack and pinion steering as opposed to the drag link that the previous car had. So right now, I think they've got the best feel for the rack and pinion, and I don't know why, because Ross Chastain basically comes from a Supers background, and obviously Kyle Larson comes from dirt. So the Supers do use a rack and pinion, so that would make sense actually for from Ross's perspective. But Kyle Larson, I don't know. Kyle Larson's he's just good. So I don't know. Rockingham, no bias here, 100% bias. Rockingham is independently owned, right? Says Billy. As far as I know, it is independently owned. The last time I checked, it was one family that owned it. Let's see, Chevy having 17 wins. They look pretty clinched for manufacturer championship, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, but see, like the crazy thing is, like, it's like statistical. I don't think it'll happen. So like if Toyota could finish like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Ford finished like, let's say the first finishing Chevrolet was like 8th or 10th, which has happened a few times this year. as long as the team that kept winning is the same team, they would have a chance to climb back in it. But I think that is a mathematical thing that can happen. I don't think it's something that'll actually happen. So we'll have to see what happens going forward. But yeah, I think I would agree with you that it is pretty close to being clinched. We can get you a 9-14, says Mark. Thumbs up, says Aaron Flynn. Who doesn't want Rockingham to return, says Napa. Yeah, I think a lot of people would love to have Rockingham back. But it's going to be sort of like North Wilkesboro. I'll just be straight up honest with you. If we get Rockingham back, the first race there, everybody is going to bitch and complain about the racing there. 100% guarantee it. It'll be just like North Wilkesboro. Yes, The Rock is independently owned, says Napa Racing Fan. Regarding Ross, yes, I agree. Last weekend was great, but I view the whole year, says Shaw. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you there, Shaw. I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm just saying it looks like he has broken out of that being super sensitive, I guess, about what others think, I guess is the only way to say that. So I'm glad. I'm kind of glad the old Ross is back because he's definitely more entertaining to cover. I closed that poll because I want to start this one. If we get Rockingham back, there we go. I'm actually interested to see what you guys think about this because I think no matter what track comes back, unless it's like an absolutely perfect race, everybody's going to bitch about it because that's just the state of like where most NASCAR fans are at right now. They just want to complain about something. It could be like the greatest race ever. I've seen some of the best races this season and it was trash. And I'm like, what were you watching? Like people, I thought this last race this weekend was actually a pretty decent race, and there were people like, that's the worst race I've ever seen in my life. Nobody could pass. I was like, I don't, because there was plenty of passing in the race. I don't know. I just feel like you can't please people anymore. I feel like the older people get and the more old races they remember those old races as being absolutely perfect. And even those races back then, some of those were absolute blowouts. So I don't know. It's a rose-colored glasses effect. It's like the further away you get from a certain type of racing, and you just make it so much better than it was, and then you're looking at these new races, and you're like, oh, this is absolute garbage. So I don't know. That's just the way I see it. Let's see. Do you think Gibbs could win Sunday? Yeah, I feel like Ty Gibbs has always got a threat to win a race. Like he's put it together, and like I said, his second half of the season would probably be awesome. And he's actually proven I was wrong about a lot of stuff in my way too early preview, but I was right about that. I thought the second half of the season, both rookies would figure it out. Obviously, Noah Greggs he didn't figure it out, but he's got it more figured out now, I guess. So we'll see. Yes, the Rock is independently owned. Regarding Ross, yes, I agree. Last weekend was great. Just read that one. Yeah, he's good, but no bias, says Robin Marks. Rate Kyle Larson, save off of turn 2 this past weekend. I damn near had a heart attack. Man, like I'm gonna be straight up with you, Elite. I thought he was gonna trash that car, but then when he saved it, I was like, heck yeah, dude. So I would rate that save probably a 9 out of 10. The only way it would be a 10 out of 10 is if he did the exact same but made absolutely no contact with the wall. So I would have to give him a 9 out of 10 on that particular save there. I still can't believe he saved it. I'll tell you another dude. I forgot to mention him earlier when I was talking about car control, but Christopher Bell. I have to put Christopher Bell up there as well. I've seen Christopher Bell make some saves with this new car that not a lot of others have seen. So I have to put car control. I probably have to put Larson, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick when he's on his game. He's got to be up there as well. Tyler Reddick, he's sort of been like, I don't know. I hate to judge it or anything, but like from his interviews here recently, he just seems like he's way tighter than normal. Like last year, he was loose and feeling good and having a good time. This year, he seemed like way tighter and just like, I don't know. Something like it's not. He just doesn't seem like the same Tyler Reddick I'm used to, I guess I should say. He's normally like laid back and like joking, but I haven't seen a whole lot of that since the playoffs have started. So I don't know if the pressure's getting to him or if he's just got something else going on or if it's just me perceiving it wrong. That could be that too. Maybe a hot take, but Rockingham is greater than North Wilkesboro. I have a love for both, but the current Cup car and package would have a better show in Rockingham than Wilkesboro. Maybe. I don't know. Once again, I think they need to fix the car. So that's more of an argument about how bad the car is than which track is actually better. So I don't know. I love both tracks. I think both tracks are fun, but I've been to both tracks where it's been an absolute blowout, and I've been to both tracks when they've had a good race too. So I can't complain. Larson is going to get another championship in 2023. What do you think? Says Gary Hobbs. I mean, personally, I pull for him, so I'm hoping so. But you never know. I don't want to jinx it, so we'll have to see who the Final Four is. I'll feel more better about making a prediction when I know who the actual Final Four is, so I can go through and actually statistically look at it as far as that goes. If The Rock is independently owned, highly unlikely it will return, says Mark Langren. So what I think will happen is sort of like what happens with a lot of other independently owned tracks. They'll probably get a truck and Xfinity Series race, but it'll probably have to go really well as far as that goes for them to get a Cup race. Pocono is independently owned, not impossible for Rockingham, especially with previous NASCAR history, says Napa Race fan. So yeah, that's a fair statement too. I'm only getting part of the comments, said Mark Langren. Yeah, YouTube has been pretty glitchy, so I don't know what to say. I know you mentioned in your video today, but Corey Heim is back at Tricon in 2024. Yep. And that actually surprised me because I thought for all the money in the world, he was going to the Xfinity side of it with Joe Gibbs Racing, but I guess not. I guess they're going to wait another year. Rockingham is number one on my list for tracks I want to on future schedules. All three top series, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, I mean, I think they've got a good chance. We're just going to see what track goes away for them, or what track loses at least one date or something like that for them to get in there. Not sure what I've seen a Rockingham race. What was the last they raced there? Oh, what was it? Was it 2004, 2006? Was that the last Rockingham race? I remember the last Rockingham race. Was it Jeff Burton flipped over? Or the 31 car flipped over. It was either Jeff Burton or Robbie Gordon. But a car actually flipped over, and it was like something you hardly ever see at a track like Rockingham. So I don't know. Yep, even if we see drivers slipping and sliding, the tires wearing, people are going to look at the interval and complain that it's too spread out, says Elite. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. We always remember the greatest race of all time. And for whatever reason, we seem to want every race to be the greatest race of all time. And that's just unfortunately not how the world works. Same thing with like any other sport you watch. You remember like a really good basketball game from back in the day. And then if you're watching like a basketball game now and it doesn't live up to that, you're like, oh, you'll hear some people, not everybody, but you'll hear some people be like, oh, this ain't how they used to play and stuff like that. And be like, dude, this is exactly how they used to play. It's just not every game's going to be a barn burner. Let's see. 2004. So, for once, I was actually right. It was 2004 Subway 400 for Cup, one of many classic Kenseth versus Kane battles with the 17 barely beating out the 9 at the line. So, yeah, it was a good finish. And somebody flipped. I think it was a 31 car. I can't remember who was driving it back then. Was it Gordon or Burton? Any take on who takes over? 04 was Jeff Burton, I think, maybe. Was it? I don't know. I can't call it. Any take on who takes over for Creed in the 2? That's a good question because I feel like Sheldon Creed left, so I don't even know if RCR knows who's going to fill in for the 2 right now. Me personally, I want it to be Jeffrey Earnhardt. That's my personal take. Who it will actually be, that's anybody's guess. Robin, he is that good, says Mark Langren. 2013 for trucks was the last NASCAR race there. So 2013 was the last NASCAR race. I was thinking Cup race, but yeah, for sure. 04 last Cup race, 2013 trucks. I forgot the trucks ran there for a while. Good point there, Napa Race fan. I believe we as humans in general look back at the good times as being good times and not remember so much the bad. I think it's our brain's way of taking care of us and keeping peace. Yeah, I mean, that to me, you're 100% accurate there, Claude Williams. That's the reason after a while we go back to our exes sometimes because we remember all the good things. And then, 1 week into dating them again, we remember all the bad things again. That's a little life lesson there. Napa Racing fan 927 Cup Series, says Shy. Let's see. Can you talk about the Bell switch pit crews and your thoughts about it? I think it started off the road to hell is paved with good intentions. They started off with good intentions, but it has not helped out Christopher Bell a whole lot. Even that being said, he's done well with it regardless. So they've been a detriment more than a help. So for whatever reason. Yes, I said the 2004 Subway 400, Kenseth barely beating Kane. Okay, thanks. Says Shy. Reddick and Bell ain't having fun right now. Maybe they're on vacation with Bubba, says one wise guy. Let's see. You're welcome, says Napa Race fan. Napa, I wait for BB to read chat so I don't catch all the comments. LOL, says Shy. Cup in Iowa. Who could believe it? Says Mark Langer. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I can't wait for that to actually happen. So that's going to be a good one, too. Let's see. Napa race fan, I don't, I don't either. I should have seen Rockingham then, but I don't remember. So new, a new track would be nice. Do you think we will get a manufacturer sweep when it comes down to the championships as in between lanes? It's so hard to say until you see the actual Final Four. So I don't know. I don't know. If Carl Long, it was Carl Long that flipped, says Elite. Okay, so Carl Long was the one that flipped. So for whatever reason, I was thinking it was the 31. Let's see. Iowa is a great option and could work well with the intermediate package for Cup cars based on how wide the track is and multiple grooves on the surface. So, yeah, so basically, the best way to explain Iowa is like Richmond. If Richmond still put on good racing with this particular car's package. Once again, the car is the problem, not Richmond. I'd like to point that out. He was driving the 46 car, says Elite Precision. So there you go. Robbie Gordon is underrated, says Mark Langer. Yeah, Robbie Gordon's one of those guys you can just immediately put in any type of race car, and he'll get you like 90% of the way there. Getting him to get the other 9% or so out of the car, that's comes down to Robbie Gordon's attention span sometimes, in my opinion. If that's why Robbie Gordon was so good, in my opinion, in the Busch Series, and he just wasn't that great in Cup. You didn't see him as dominant in Cup because he just I don't think he was set up to do long races like that. Carl Long flipped at Rockingham, says Delmar Kaufman. I may have to search last Rockingham race for giggles, says Shaw. I think Smith TV has it for sure. 2004 Subway 400, last Cup race at Rockingham. I can't wait to see who does well when Cup comes to Iowa Speedway next year. I live 45 minutes from the track, so super excited. If you want to I don't know if you're looking to see who you think is going to be good there. I would look at the statistics for Richmond, because I think those two setups are probably be pretty close to each other. Maybe add St. Louis in there as well. So if you combine St. Louis and Richmond, and you see your list of drivers that are good there, I would say that those are probably going to be your best bets as to who will run well there. Where are they going to say 1.5 hours away for Iowa? I'm watching the 95 season. Darlington was a wreck fest, though, and half for Buendale Sr. and half were cheering for him. Yep, a lot of people don't remember that. Memory is fuzzy. That's why I like to study history. It's always been messy, that's for sure. Everybody loves Dale Earnhardt Sr. now, but back in the day, it was like 50-50 at best. He got the Kyle Busch reception 100% of the time. Copied and already pasted, says Napa Racer fan. Iowa should have been on the Cup schedule 10 to 15 years ago. Only complaint with next year's weekend is there's ARCA instead of trucks. So yeah, I can't necessarily disagree with you there. I think the trucks are more fun to watch than ARCA. No disrespect to anybody in ARCA. I think the trucks are more fun to watch right now. They need to do something to sort of even it up in the ARCA series. Just thought I'd help out, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, I appreciate it, my friend. Totally agree, says Aaron. You the man, Napa, says Shaw. As a true Harvick and OG SHR fan, I'm truly disappointed that SHR has not stepped up enough to give him the send away that he truly deserves, says Rob. They've done it from the PR side of things. Unfortunately, this has just been a down year. For Stewart-Haas Racing. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes. So it's just, it is what it is. At the end of the day, that's just the way it goes sometimes. Never Race fan saying thank you. Mark Langren said stay. I saw Rockingham Speedway a few years ago, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, so if you drive by it and I go up there and check it out, it's completely been redone. It's up to code and all that stuff. It looks pretty close to a brand new facility. If you're being totally honest, the Truck Series you can watch Bikini F Up, says Mark Langren. You can, but not next year. There's only a few more races to not like Haley Deegan in the Truck Series. You'll have to be upset with her in the Xfinity Series next season. I heard Ted Musgrave to the 10 car next year. Good pick, says OJ and Toothpaste. Ted Musgrave, another legend on Earth too. Super good road course racer. I think for Roush, but it just never really translated as far as the Cup side of things the way they wanted it to work out. I remember the best Ted Musgrave car was the old the Family Channel 16. I think that was Ted Musgrave. Let me pull that up real quick. Make sure that was him. Oh, yeah, that's it. 100% Ted Musgrave. That car was awesome back in the day. That was like the most 90s car I've ever seen of all time. Let's see. And just in case you're wondering what it looked like, there you go in the chat. The old Ted Musgrave number 16, the red, white, and blue family channel. I don't even know what the family channel turned into, but it was a cable channel that like I didn't watch it a whole lot, but I was super glad they were sponsoring the race car. Let's see. Looking forward to Deegan and Xfinity. Hoping she makes me a fan again. Says Shy. Jay Santos, what's up, my friend? Good to see you on here. Running the ARCA team isn't affordable. That's why the only teams that win are JGR line teams and Venturini. Don't forget Venturini. They basically own that series. There's just different levels of money being spent there. I saw Myrtle Beach Speedway on a flight down there multiple times. Now it's been destroyed. Yep. Darian, Black Flags Matter. He just made a pretty good farewell to Myrtle Beach Speedway. A pretty good video if you want to check that one out. Now it's been destroyed. So many great tracks lost because of folks complaining about noise and moving next to the racetrack and money. So yeah, and even the plans they had for the reason that they destroyed it, those plans fell through. But they still they made sure they got rid of the track anyway, so that there was no chance of bringing it back, which was a dirty move. But that's real estate. As it stands, I'm very meh on Deegan, says Shaw. Yeah, I mean, look, I just look at her as a kid, and she's trying to live out her dreams, and she's got a good business model for it. She's getting all those sponsors from her social media side. She just needs more seat time to get better racecraft. So I like the hustle. I like the fact that she's out there working hard to get sponsors, and she's actually working pretty hard on the seat time. And I think eventually, as long as she keeps doing what she's doing, it will eventually click. We've seen other drivers that it took a long time for them to get better at what they were doing. Riley Herbst, like a lot of people talk bad about him for a long time. He just won the other day. He's come close a lot of times. But if you look at Riley Herbst from when he first started to where he's at now, he has improved significantly every season. Hopefully, at some point, it clicks for Haley Deegan and she starts improving every season. Same thing with Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones, he started off slow, but then he figured it out and got better season after season. So it's hard for me to disparage somebody that's doing everything the right way, like working hard and trying to get better and chasing their dreams. So it's hard for me to pull against her. So, but I understand some people don't like her because, whatever, she's got all that height and she's not running where they think she should run. So I understand, I guess, why they don't like her too. So there's always two sides of the coin. Ted always had interesting paint schemes, says Jay Santos. Yeah, that was a classic Roush. Roush paint schemes now are not nearly as bold as they were back then. They're more of they're really good looking and cool designs now, but back in the day they were just like loud and proud. So just different era too. So it is what it is. Hey Burger, that's the exact same thing that that's the exact same thing verbatim that Tony Stewart said about Robbie. Says Rob Rohr. Oh, so there you go. Tony Stewart, or I agree. I guess I should say I agree with Tony Stewart. So like there you go. Let's see. Bikini needs to leave or get serious about racing, says Mark. Rockingham, I think she's pretty serious about racing. I don't think she would be putting out that many YouTube videos to get sponsors, because that's basically, let's be honest, that's basically what she's putting out the YouTube videos for if she wasn't serious about it. Rockingham equals Kyle Petty, says Delmar Kaufman. At least the first race of the season does. Downfall of ARCA is sad. I used to love it. Now I loathe it. Basically, I watch when nothing else is on. Let me do the old hat change here real quick. There we go. We're back into the 29 Budweiser era here. This one was this hat never fit good unless I put it on backwards, and it's shrunk even more. Shrunk even more since then. But this hat was so, I don't know, my head's too big or this hat's too shallow. BIR was also built with no houses nearby in 1968. Now we have to deal with noise limitations because houses built around the track, says Mark Langren. Yeah, that's one of those things that should be you should be grandfathered in. If you build a house beside a racetrack, that's your problem. That's the way I've always thought about it. Thanks, BB, says Rob. Appreciate you, Rob Royer. I love what butt domination like Earps did, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, like it's like some people watch, the best way I can describe it, some people watch Major League Baseball to see a bunch of home runs, but some people watch Major League Baseball to see a pitcher throw a shutout or have a perfect game. So it's all in what you're looking for. Regarding Deegan, I was just hoping she was going to be like Wonder Bread. I wanted to see her dominated. Slice bread, LOL, says Shy. Best lower divisions of NASCAR, top three is probably modifieds. A lot of people love the modifieds for sure. Let's see. Jay Santos Haley is definitely a looker. Do you like the AI technology, BB, or does it scare you? It doesn't scare me. I think people are just making way too big a deal out of it right now, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's like everything else. There's going to be all kinds of opinions about it until people get used to it. Like when computers came out, a lot of people said they'll never fail, they'll never take off, and then some people were like, "This is going to be the end of the world. Computers are going to take over." So it is what it is. Let's see. Victory Lane celebration with Bologna Burger and the changing of the hats. Yeah, where's the hat guy? I need the hat guy over here throwing hats on. Hiya, fellas, BB. Just been a horrific. Man, this hat is tight. I'm already getting a headache because this hat is so small. Let's see here. Hiya, fellas. BB, just been a horrific week. Sorry I haven't been around. It's been surreal. I hate that you're going through it, Roofer, but it's all good. Like, don't ever feel obligated, man. Like, if you're going through things, first off, know that we've got your back here. Everybody here's got your back, but don't ever feel obligated if you've got like real life. Like this should never even think about this compared to real life, my friend. I think Elite talking about. I said I think if NASCAR doesn't work out for Haley Deegan, she should fully commit to IMSA. The few races she's done in that series, she's actually shown more promise over there than NASCAR. Yeah, so for whatever reason, she is a really good road racer, and we know for sure that she's also a really good dirt racer. And in cars, like if you take a look at the SRX series, she's run good in the SRX. It's just for whatever reason, her skills or whatever don't line up for that particular type of car. And look, some people just like Jimmy Johnson, one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. He went over there to the IndyCar series. It just wasn't his deal. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. Shrinking hats. Sam Hornish. Sam Hornish was the man in IndyCar. Came over and took him a long time to get decent at NASCAR. And when he started getting decent at NASCAR type cars, the opportunities kind of dried up. But toward the end of Sam Hornish's career, he was a legitimate, really good stock car racer too. It just took him a long time to get there. Shrinking hats and growing heads. It's a real issue, says Shy. Yeah, this hat never fit properly, to be honest with you. But it's like I said, I could wear it backwards and it was more comfortable that way, but I'm not gonna do that today. AI with tons of limitations is best. It's already become too powerful, says Tampa Racing fan. I mean, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, so you're just gonna have to figure it out. I do watch a lot of science fiction, so I mean, iRobot, like it's been predicted for a long time. So Isaac Asimov. I might get dinged for this, but this is the guy's actual name, Philip K. Dick. Electric Dreams. If you've ever watched, like a ton of science fiction comes from him, but if you've ever watched Total Recall, that's one of them. But he's had, oh god, if just look up Philip K. Dick and look at all of the movies that have come from his writings. Let's see. Hoping things get better for you, Roofer, says Elite. So yeah, like we all say here, Roofer, we're all. We all got your back, my friend. Musical hats tonight, says Shy, and we're fixing to do a music. This hat is way too tight, man. Like, God, this thing is so. Might be going up on eBay. So this one though was one of my favorite ones, and there's also some Harvick hats that are long gone. Yeah, this one's much more comfortable. This was the old Chase Authentics. Here we go. Y'all remember the Chase Authentics logo? That was the jam back in the day. But that hat never fit properly, so it's been gently used. Wish you better days ahead, Roofer, says Napa. Let's see. Nearest modified track to me is Jennerstown Speedways. It's on my bucket list for next year, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, so Jennerstown is actually they have some pretty big races there for late models, but it's definitely a real big modified track for sure. Jay Santos saying, hang in there, Roofer. So we all got your back, Roofer. Closest one to me is Jennerstown. Also love that track. Never been there in person, though, says Napa. Tuesday Night Live with Bologna Burger, says In Between the Lanes. Let's see. We had Raw as War. We'll have to come up for something for Tuesday Night Live. Monday night Raw, Tuesday night something. Raw as War. We'll have to figure something out. Tuesday's gone with the wind. Live with PV. BB Dog, wear it backwards. LMO says, I mean, I'll throw it on. This one's not as cool backwards. This is the old. See, this one's the opposite. This one doesn't fit good backwards. So I don't know. Looks shouldn't get you a ride. Look at that flop, Danica, says Mark. Yeah, but that's not a fair comparison because, like, Haley Deegan is night and day better than Danica Patrick in a stock car. Like, that's not even like a fair comparison. And unlike Danica, she's actually putting in time to get better. God dang it! I missed another ad. Sorry about that. If you got an ad, well, you wouldn't be hearing this. Let's see here. What's your thoughts on Tony Bridinger? Tony Bridinger is another one. She's gotten way better since I first saw her. When I first saw her, I didn't think. I honestly, God, didn't think she was ever going to do anything, but she's gotten better and better. So she's another one that's put the time in. She used to race supers back in the day. I don't know if you remember the NASCAR Housewives show or whatever. Amber Baclian, she was racing supers at the same time that Amber was racing. And she has gotten, legitimately, she's gotten night and day better since then. So shout out to her for putting in the time to get better. Let's see. Roofer, best of luck, says Mark Langren. Please, no Deegan in IMSA, says Mark. Napa, we should meet up at Jennerstown, says Chrome. Is Gregson in SHR a good fit? Where does Noah go? Says Napa Race Fan. Right now, he is the leading candidate to get that job over there in the 10 car, according to Bob Pockris. So that would be, I guess, because Bob Pockris is hardly ever wrong. So I would lean toward he's going to get that job over there. You look faster with it backwards, says Shaw. I mean, 100%, it is more aerodynamic. There's no doubting about that. Thank you all. God bless, says Roofer. Yeah, like I said, we got your back there. That would be neat, says Napa Race Fan. Tuesday Night Thunder. Hey, there we go. Tuesday Night Thunder. One wise guy. I like it. Because the other wrestling thing was Thursday Night Thunder. So I like it. We'll roll with that for right now. Tuesday Night Thunder. Kyle Durst, Fred Durst. They did the what was it? Woodstock. Woodstock documentary. Woodstock 2, I guess, is technically what it should be called. And they showed the part where Fred Durst made everybody start breaking stuff. They tried to blame the whole riot on Fred Durst when in actuality it was just a poorly run event and people had enough. And that song was the straw that broke the camel's back. LOL, Roofer, says Shaw. So much for the Blaney disqualification, says Jamie Spicer. Yeah, for sure. Okay, YouTube is atrocious. They just played a 15-second long during the live stream. Says Crummy. Yeah, that is 100% my fault. I usually catch them over here, but for whatever reason, I've been missing them today. I don't even know if they're popping up. Back in the day, the last few streams, they popped up, and I've been able to block them. But now it just pops up on my screen over here and says, hey, we're doing a commercial right now. I've got the commercial set to as low as possible, and they have been letting me block them. But I guess, I'm just either missing them or they're not doing it today. So much for the Blaney disqualification. Fajitas, says Mark Langren. So back in the day when I was a much younger man, whenever we would go out with a group of friends, I would, who do you think will replace Sheldon Creed next year in the Xfinity Series? Number 2 for Richard Childress Racing. I have no idea. I don't think RCR knows either because Sheldon Creed left, sort of a Tyler Reddick situation. So we'll have to see who they figure out to put over there. Can you tell us about the Iowa track on next year's schedule? I'm not from that one, says Jay Santos. So it's basically really close in looks to Richmond, and I think it'll drive pretty much like Richmond, except and there's a chance that you'll actually be able to pass and stuff like that. I think that was Woodstock 30 held in 1999 as opposed to Woodstock 2 in 1994. Yeah, there was another Woodstock 2 in 1994, but not a lot of people remember that one. So whatever called that Woodstock. But yeah, you're right. They actually, in that documentary, they talked about there was like 2 or 3 other Woodstocks in between. But this was the one that got attention because they it was the opposite of Love and Peace. It was pretty much showed the very big difference between Gen X and the Flower generation or whatever. Let's see. I really want to know if Creed is going to Gibbs. I mean, it feels like it as it stands right now because Corey Haim not going over there kind of makes you feel like Sheldon Creed might be going over there to Gibbs. Sorry, you're not looking good backwards, says Mark Langren. I don't look good forwards, but at least it covers more of my face that way. Let's see. Only thing that makes sense, says Shaw. Twice today, your stream played ads. Yeah, it popped up 2 times, but for whatever reason, I didn't see it. They had been giving me a chance to block it, so I don't know. Just so you know, apparently there is a option where more of those will come up because I've got the thing set to as limited as possible as ads. Which is better for the next TV deal? 6-race package with Amazon, Turner, TNT likely with Max or something else. I prefer CBS or even the CW, but that's unlikely. As far as the Sports Business Journal reported, it looks like it's going to be Fox and NBC again. And the thing that's holding it up is they've carved out a 6-race streaming package. So that seems to be the deal that's holding it up. Thursday Night Thunder, Saturday Night Main Event, Monday Night Raw is War. We're the best. Raw is moving from Monday nights soon, says one wise guy. Oh my God, that's the end of a tradition, man. Like that was that started in the 90s, I want to say, on USA. So that's crazy. They're moving from Monday nights. Ty Dillon mows his grow with Ferris mowers along with Stuart Friesen, says in between the lanes. Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez, and Ben Rhodes race Kubota tractors. Yep, and Tony Stewart's and Chase Briscoe, they use Mahindra tractors to mow their lawn. Chrome got the same abuse from YouTube, says Mark Langren. Not going to lie, Joey had a lousy season. I don't know it was lousy. He had a really strong first half or first quarter, and then just sort of trailed off and never got it going again after that. Ben Rose competed in the American Ninja Warrior a few years back, and he actually did pretty well. Hey, there you go. I did not know that. Roofer, anything we can do? Mark Langren is asking. So let me jump over here and see. What was I looking at? I was going to look at something a minute ago. Yep, I couldn't find anything. I was thinking, I'll have to look that up. Roofer, let's see here. There needs to be a tractor race like Earnhardt did. Yes, and back in the day, not only that, good point, Chrome Diesel. Back in the day, they used to have these like little exhibition races sort of before. This is back when they practiced on like Thursdays and stuff. But like on Wednesdays, they'd be having all kinds of crazy stuff. You'd have tractor races. Dale Earnhardt and Cale Yarborough once had a carriage race with horses, like a horse and buggy type race. So they had all kinds of stuff back in the day. Thursday night with the Jags on the IRP Oval, says Mark Langren. No, Mark, a shocking passing of people in the family, says Roofer. So everybody keep Roofer in your thoughts and prayers. That's the worst way for it to happen. Like, if somebody's sick, you can at least sort of mentally prepare. But when something just happens out of the blue like that, it is a different kind of pain to deal with because there's just no time to prepare for it, and you're just going through like all of the emotions at one time. So, man, Roofer, dude, we feel for you, man. I don't even know what to say, but brother, believe me, as soon as I hop off here, I'm gonna be praying for you, and I'll have you in my thoughts. If you need anything at all, just reach out to us here. And we've got your back, man. Like I said, Jamie Schweitzer, love the hat, BB. Appreciate you there, Jamie. They could race the hauler trucks. Says Shaw. Ford had a commercial, I think, one year where they played the Smokey and the Bandit music, and they were sort of saying the haulers were racing down the highway on each other. Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, and Joey Logano shop at the Home Depot. That's for sure. And Jimmy Johnson at Lowe's. Sorry to hear that, Roofer, says Shaw. There actually was a hauler driver competition at one time. Wasn't it part of like All-Star Week or something at one point? They used to have an engine building. Part of All-Star Week used to have an engine building contest as well, if I'm not mistaken. I hope they hold the Earnhardt Open in Indianapolis again this year, again with Dale Jr.'s brother. I hope they do. Hopefully all that stuff works out. Jimmy Johnson shops at Lowe's, says in between the lanes, no doubt about it. Earnhardt Classic, I think, was called actually. Best wishes, Roofer. Oh, so apparently they might not run the Earnhardt Classic, so that's one I can actually look up. Let's see. It's not listed. It just keeps pulling up Earnhardt Classic races. The Earnhardt Outdoor Showdown, maybe. Is that it? Bum, bum, bum. I can't find anything about it not happening next year. I'm just seeing the race, I guess, from this year. But it's a Legends car race in downtown Kannapolis. So I'll have to do some research on that one and see if they're going to bring it back next year. But there's a legend race in downtown Kannapolis called the Earnhardt. What's it called? The Earnhardt Outdoor Showdown Legends Race in Kannapolis is I guess the official title from this year. They might change it next year. Let's see. ESBB All Star Race. They did it talking about the engine building and the hauler racing or the hauler competition. Stillborn says roofer. So that's even worse, man. Oh man, I hate it for you, dude. Austin Dillon and Martin Truex Jr. go the Bass Pro Shops, especially Truex. That baby is in heaven, roofer. Yeah, for sure, 100% roofer. I just don't know what to say. I just hate that, man. That's crazy bad. I do, roofer. My heart goes out to you, says Shaw. So like I said, we're all here for you, man. Like I said, if you need anything, we definitely will do anything we can to help you, my friend. Chrome Diesel, if Chastain or Briscoe could do some tractor race, imagine how much following they'll have from farmers, blue collar, and tractor brands, says Chrome Diesel. You would think, I take that back. Ross has Kubota, so I was thinking a farmer would have a tractor brand, but he's got Kubota there. Best of wishes to your head, says Napa Race Fan, shouting out roofer there. Kurt Busch, Ty Gibbs, and Riley Herbst drink Monster Energy. This should be a sign you see on college game day. Yeah. And don't forget Tyler Reddick. You got to put Tyler Reddick in there too. He's part of the Monster Gang. Just getting here. What's up, y'all? What's up, B? Good to see you on here, my friend. Tyler. But we definitely got you back, brother. Napa Racing Fan. Yep, I forgot that one. Says in between the lanes. Monday Night Madness for all your weekend racing chaos. Says Aaron. Prayers to roofer from B. Real farmers run a deer. LOL. So there you go. Chad Little and whoever else drove the who else? I know Chad Little drove it. I don't know if anybody else drove the John Deere car. That was another classic Roush scheme. So let me. I posted the family channel. I got to pull up the John Deere NASCAR car. They were pulling up. Also, so Matt Kenseth drove it as well. We got Chad Little. We've got Matt Kenseth. Got Chad Little in the 13 or in the 23 Pontiac in the Busch Grand National Series. Looking like those might have been the only one. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Gets a John Deere throwback scheme. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was in there one time. Oh, so that was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and not Matt Kenseth. So I got it. So that's that was the confusion on that one. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chad Little, and that's looking like it. But yeah, these that was another John Deere green, man. Hard to beat that one. Trying to find a good picture of it to post here that I remember the best. But they've got some pretty good ones on here. We'll just go. Wasted too much time. I'm just going to go with this one. All right, there we go. If you want to look at the John Deere car, that is the link for it right there. Matt Crafton, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, and Brandon Jones all shop at Menards. The list of people that are saving good money when you shop Menards is long, I would say. I feel like he sponsored a lot of people. Green Power says Aisha. I got a laugh out of the Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney tweet off. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the fake beef between Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace, it was pretty epic on Twitter. Yeah, I lost my mom 2 weeks ago, says Mark. That sucks, Mark. We're here for you too, man. Like, that's bad news on the channel today. So we've got all you guys backs as far as that goes. Kawasaki dirt bikes and John Deere tractors. Baby says Shaw. Kyle Busch and Terry Labonte eat Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact. Says in between the lanes. I think Casey Mears and Mark Martin also were Corn Flakes men. How about semis? Says Mark Langren. I think the semis by semi-truck races. Kurt Busch was the only driver of the John Deere 97. He drove it some as a rookie. Ricky Stenhouse drove it as well. And Chad Little also drove it. So there's three. I forgot Kurt Busch drove it, but I couldn't find him in the pictures over there. Kyle Busch, David Gilliland, Ernie Irvin, and Ken Schrader eat M&Ms. Frosted Flakes, they're great. Says Shaw, this year didn't seem as big as last year with the Hale Melon and the Bubba Larson and other stuff. So yeah, I guess in a good way we haven't had that drama, but I guess for ratings and stuff like that, we haven't had that drama. So that might be part of the ratings deals or whatever. We all support your roofer, says Chrome Diesel. Kenworth powered by Big Kitty, says Aaron. The old cat powered Kenworths, of course, made most famous by Smokey and the Bandit. That was what the Snowman drove. Frosted Flakes and chocolate milk, breakfast of champions. Hey, there you go, Shaw. That's what's up. Chocolate milk with any cereal makes the cereal better. That sucks, roofer, says Mark Langford. Ryan Blaney and Austin Cindric install tires at Discount Tires, and formerly I think Keselowski. I can't remember if he ever had Discount Tires on his too, but he might have been there for that era. Prayers up to Mark from B. Scott McLaughlin and Haley Deegan use Odyssey batteries. I know Cale Yarborough and Kevin Harvick. Who else has driven the Busch car? The Budweiser car is a long lineage with tons of people, so I'm not even going to attempt that one. Let's see. BB, I sent you the Kurt Busch John Deere special in DM. Appreciate you there, B. I will check that one out. I might have it pulled up over here. I just can't see it, or don't know what I'm looking at, which is also equally possible. But yep. I don't remember the Grand Prix that Chad Little drove, though, for whatever reason. I don't remember him driving a Pontiac John Deere. He must have drove that for like Cale Yarborough Motorsports or somebody, Bobby Allison maybe. But it was definitely a Pontiac, and it's definitely there. I can't. That's like it's bothering me that I don't remember that car being a Pontiac at some point. BB, I'll see you here. Show him that one. LOL says Bumblebee. How many of you guys are actually? And there's probably more, but that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But I'm sure there's a ton of them. That 4 car is something special, says Roofer. Yeah, without question. A Halloween theme race would be cool with Boo Berry and Count Chocula for sponsors, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, they might have done that before. I don't know. I know that was a big deal back in the day. Every time Halloween rolled around, second. He was a Pontiac for Roush in '97, says Bumblebee. When Brad Keselowski had Miller Lite sponsorship at Team Penske, I called him Brad the Beer Man Keselowski. Yep, and that was back in the day when the diecasts, instead of putting the beer sponsor on there, would just put Brad across the hood. So Brad Light. Crazy, but yeah, says B. So that might be why I don't remember it being a Pontiac. That's crazy. Roush actually ran a Pontiac. I need to look into that. How did I forget that? TP and our TMP for our favorite roofer, hang in there and lean on your faith, says Sonny V. Kenworth with 500 horsepower kitty is a rocket sled. I drove it last year, says Chrome Diesel. Jack Roush ran the 97 as a Pontiac temporarily after they bought it from Pollux. Okay, so there you go. There you go. Thanks, EB. She's in a better place, says Mark. I only have faith in my God and my friend and my friends, says Roofer. Lucky Charms should sponsor a car. Be a sweet scheme. Get it, punny. Says Shaw. They should sponsor Lucky with this particular ruling as far as NASCAR goes. So Ryan Blaney. Yeah, Lucky Charms, any major cereal brand would always be. I feel like just as a good connection for NASCAR fans. I know all of the Kellogg's cars are still beloved. So let's see here. What about a Silly Rabbit Tricks Are for Kids car? Does Tricks still exist? Says Napa. I don't know. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does, but we'll have to find out. Let's see. Yep, you can get it at Target or Amazon So one Amazon price is so it's family size though. One Amazon price is $348 for a box. The family size is $452. They're not round anymore. They're actually shaped like other stuff. So they've sort of jazzed them up a little bit here. I don't like it. Change is bad. Let's see here. Sonny V, exactly. Tricks still exist, says Chrome Diesel. Denny Hamlin, Martin Tricks Jr. I did. I forget who keeps asking if I ate the Snoop cereal. I did find out that they sell it at Walmart, so I will find some of the Snoop Dogg cereal and give it a try there. Denny Hamlin, Mark Martin, Truex Jr. Oh, sorry, Denny Hamlin, Martin Tricks Jr., Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett, J.J. Yaley. Use interstate batteries. Yeah, for sure. Left out one dude there, Kyle Busch. I would say Kyle Busch also interstate batteries, man, or at least used to be. Jamie Schweitzer does. I had Newman, Jerry Hansen, and I don't remember the third driver race semis at Bristol International Raceway. So there you go. There was an actual Bristol race with semis. That's pretty cool. I love Frosted Flakes scheme, but I'd love to see the Corn Flake scheme that Terry had returned. So there's one of them right there. There's one of the Corn Flakes right there. Greg Sachs, Kellogg's car was pretty good looking too. Terry Labonte also had a number 14 when he was still driving for Hagan. That navy blue 14 Kellogg's car was pretty good looking too. Not nearly as good looking as the yellow car, but it wasn't bad. Captain Crunch for which driver? Says Shaw. Oh man, that's a good question. Which driver could pull off a Captain Crunch? So like Roger Penske is the captain, so I feel like Austin Cindric could be a good Captain Crunch candidate. Like that would be pretty cool. Who else could pull off like a Captain Crunch? Who's got like a Captain Crunch vibe to him? Like Ryan of a driver who I could see in a nautical setting. Ryan Newman likes to fish a lot, so like Ryan Newman, Captain Crunch on a boat, Ryan Newman fishing. So that might be one that could probably pull it off. I don't know. They don't advertise Tricks anymore. I didn't know. Or Napa Racing Fan, and I'm just going to throw this out there. They still do advertise Tricks, but Tricks are for kids, so you can't see it anymore. That could be the problem because, Tricks are for kids, and we're old now, so we just don't see the commercials. They're still out there. Shaw, Ross, question mark. I mean, Ross Chastain, Captain Crunch. Oh, that's a good one. Ross Chastain would be a good Captain Crunch. From that perspective, where you're going with that one, a lot of people feel like Joey Logano or Denny Hamlin could be Captain Crunch, but Ross Chastain, I agree with you. Ross Chastain, just from, I don't necessarily think the actual facts line up with it, but I think from the perception, Ross Chastain as Captain Crunch would make sense. They could do watermelon flavored crunch berries. Is Bobby Labonte the face of the number 18 cat in history, or J.J. Yaley? That's a good question. Like Earth 2, I see where you're going. With Earth 2, but Earth 1, that's actually a good question. When you think of the 18 interstate batteries car, I think it's going to be generational, but I still think of the Dale Jarrett paint scheme, the OG one. A lot of people, I think, would think of Bobby Labonte because that would be the era that they were younger in, and I think it would just. But on Earth 2, J.J. Yaley all day, like 5-time champion J.J. Yaley, Earth 2, hello. 17 toaster trophies at his house. He's a fellow Kyle. That's the only reason it stuck out to me. Nothing runs like a deer with a cat on its butt, says Aaron. Sorry, Polish liner for the first 400 horsepower freight shaker. That cornflakes was an awesome scheme, says Shah. Did they ever race the UPS truck? They didn't race it, but there's an interesting fact. They did build a UPS race truck on whoever. I think Grumman makes those trucks. So they built an actual UPS race truck with a Cup engine in it. And whoever had it went off to auction it. And then UPS ended the auction because they said that they still own the truck. So it got super weird. I need to look into that. That would actually be a good episode that I can do in the off season. Do you think Chad Little was a very good driver? Says OJ and Toothpaste. I think Chad Little was probably a pretty good driver. He just for whatever reason he and Jack Roush is not a patient man. So I put him sort of there with like Eric Almirola. I think he might have gotten you a win here or there, but he was never going to be the guy. So and Jack Roush is always just looking for the guy. What's up, all? Orlando Magic caused me dropped a good game for you there. I like the silver one. He won at Wilkesboro too, but the white cornflake scheme was great. I'd rather have a cornflakes car again. Honestly, I should do it for the Iowa race sponsored by Iowa Corn. That would be pretty cool. Captain Crunch would be Stenhouse. Oh, one wise guy for sure. How can we leave out old Stenhouse? His reputation would be a Captain Crunch one as well. Tricks ads on kids channels. LOL, says Shaw. I was about to say that Chastain, but was beat to it, says Jamie Schweitzer. So yeah, there we go. That's probably a pretty good poll question. Let me end this poll first. We'll go Stenhouse. Who else did I say? Hamlin. I feel like Hamlin. A lot of people boo him for getting into conflict. Logano, a lot of people. The better Captain Crunch sponsor, Ross, Stenhouse, Hamlin, or Logano. The poll question is up. The Rockingham poll question. Here are the poll results. A rare moment of quality in the show. I'm going to read a poll result. If we get Rockingham back, will people cry about the first race there? 65% said yes, and I agree with you. The other 34% believe that it will not happen. If we get the Rockingham race, they would be good for at least one race before people start crying and complaining about it. And I didn't read the results for the other polls, so I'm going to go up here and find the results for the other poll. But it was 90% yes is what I'm thinking on the other poll. Wow, it's way up here. Super far up here. Where is it at? Where is the other poll? Blaney ruling, was it fair? 92% of you say yes, the Blaney ruling was fair. 7% said no. So there you go. 2 rare moments of quality for me on this show. I actually remembered to read a poll question. Of course, this one will be the last poll. Oh, no. Let's see. When I was a kid, there were like 30 cereals. I said, Shy, yes, cereal used to be a big thing. You like Denny Hamlin, says also fair. I don't have a problem with him. Like, a lot of people dislike him. I think Denny Hamlin's good for the sport. He continues conversation. Now, like, if he wrecked your favorite driver, you probably don't like him, but I think he's good overall for the sport. He keeps some type of conversation going. I was thinking, and also outside of the racetrack, he does a lot of good things that just don't get paid attention to, because he's actively pursuing this villain role. It's 100% a decision he's making right now. I was thinking that first time I went to Ross. Let's see here. I love the red Bud car forever. Says Mystical Bandit. Yeah, it is a good looking car, and I'm glad that they're doing it. Hopefully we get the some type of Goodwrench. I know they can't say Goodwrench on the car, but hopefully we get one of the Goodwrench car would be cool. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, and Daniel Suarez drink Coca-Cola. Yeah, there's been tons of Coca-Cola and left Pepsi. I think Pepsi sort of switched it to Mountain Dew after that. When I was a kid, there were like 30 cereal brands. I agree. Nowadays, oh my God, buckle up and grab an ice cold Coke. You're watching NASCAR on NBC. I hate those. Stop wasting my time and get back to the race. This portion of the race brought to you commercial free by Toyota. So now we're going to put this red commercial square around your TV screen and pretend like it's commercial free. Bud Frogs says Mystical Bandit. Indy for North Dakota for 110 miles in a semi-inappropriate use of natural resources, $1,200, says Mark Langren. I hate going to the grocery store. So many choices. It takes hours to pick things for freaks' sake. JJ Yaley is definitely on the Mount Rushmore for it too. No doubt about it. High in fiber. Talking about Captain Crunch, says Ted Musgrave should come back next year and race for JGR and Xfinity if he doesn't get the 10 car. He was the man in the truck series, though. So, like, you can't take anything away from him in the truck series. Unfortunately, just never worked out for him in Cup. Nobody puts Captain Crunch cars in the field quite like our Ross. This poll was easy for me. Right now, 59% Stenhouse, though, say Kyle. So 29% for Ross, 12% for Logano. And for once, Denny Hamlin getting no votes in a deal talking about crashes. That's shocking. Let's see here. Ross, because he crunches drivers' cars up on the racetrack. Ricky, because he crunches his cars up. Joking, but less DNFs for Ricky Stenhouse this year. Good year from him for JTG. Doherty, yeah, for sure. Ricky Stenhouse has put it together this year. If he can continue to be consistent like this, he could reach his full potential at some point. Danny Hamroyd says, Shaw, Captain Crunch, NASCAR Cup Series, Earth 2. I love it. I love it. Don't know why, but the Vegas race this weekend seemed faster than the last year's race, says NASCAR Collector. Yeah, it might have been faster. I don't know. I didn't look at the actual length of the race. Yes, Trix is on shelves in Walmart. Yep, for sure. BB, do you have a Discord? I do not have a Discord, OJ and Toothpaste. Somebody asked me to do that, but I'm just, I haven't gotten around to doing it. I don't know if I'll ever do it. I might, instead of doing a Discord, I might just go to more like, I don't know, like more streams or something like that. Will Mikey Waltrip get in the Hall of Fame on Earth 2? I feel like, I don't know. He's borderline. He's borderline on Earth 2. He's borderline on Earth 1. So I don't know. Borderline on Earth 1 just because he's won the biggest race that NASCAR has multiple times. So you do at least have to consider him. I think Hamlin would be Frankenberry, says Sonny B. Well, I guess it lines up. It is purple and pink. Michael Waltrip is first ballot Hall of Fame. Unanimous, says OJ and Toothpaste. There you go. First ballot for Michael Waltrip on Earth 2. Mark Langren brained. I like Denny. Remember, he and Harvick were the only ones calling out this new car, says Roofer. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are a few drivers, and I'll tell you what, Christopher Bell is the next guy that's going to step up here and be vocal about stuff. 10G fast cars is the one that bothers me. Oh, yeah, as fast as 10G Xfinity Internet. Yeah, that definitely gets 100% old. But you know they probably get a little kickback every time they say it. I think that's why they say it. Let's see. I had Stenhouse on the poll. Right now, Stenhouse winning at 61%, but he's been better this year. Yeah, for sure. As long as he has more years like this where he doesn't wreck as much, I think he's got a good chance to reach his potential. We were as fast as Xfinity 10G. I can't stand that either. They forced the drivers to plug that because of the series title, but it's so unnecessary. I agree with you 100%. Napa. Logano has to be Captain Crunch this year. LOL, says Shaw. So he's in the poll, but he's far behind everybody else. Make a Discord with all the DNFs, and I'll have to look at what Discord is because I have no clue. I'm in left field. I mean, I know it's a server and all that stuff, but I have to look at how it actually operates and all that stuff because I'm in left field as far as that goes. Bush could be with all the DNFs. Yeah, this season, him and all of RCR. I'm pretty sure RCR is tired of putting cars back together this season. A lot of DNFs, especially for Austin Dillon and of course Kyle Busch. The DNFs have cost him a really good chance at a championship this year. I want NASCAR to bring back the drink cans with the car on it, says NASCAR Collector. Yeah, I got it installs brakes and tires at Mavis along with interstate batteries, says in between the lanes. I'm curious how much they get paid each time they say as fast as Xfinity 10G. I don't know if it's a thing like Coca-Cola. Like Coca-Cola tallies it up however many times the driver that holds up the Coke bottle the most gets a year-end bonus. I don't know if they do it like that or if they do it every time the driver says it. I don't know. Would Denny Hamlin wreck Seabell for a win, says OJ and Toothpaste? I mean, is that even a question? Of course he would. The only time I remember Denny wrecking someone was Danica at Daytona, says NASCAR Collector. He's wrecked more people than Danica. Chase Elliott fans can tell you about one. Kyle Larson fans, of course, whether you agree with them or not, Kyle Larson fans will tell you that he's wrecked Kyle Larson for 2 wins this season, in their opinion. Happy in the booth is going to make a difference in the booth next season, says one wise guy. I think he'll be a positive addition. There's no doubt about it. Jimmy Spencer will be in the Hall of Fame on Earth 2. Yeah, first ballot for old Spence. Javi in Iowa, says Mark Langren, or as slow as AT&T, says Napa Racing fan. Ryan Newman, the AT&T man, of course. Before it was Jeff Burton in the bizarre orange and blue AT&T car. Jimmy Spencer, Michael Waltrip, Dario Franchitti, Buckshot Jones, Earth 2, Mount Rushmore. For a Buckshot Jones, actually, I think he lives somewhere near, used to live somewhere near Burlington, if I'm not mistaken. For a Shame Award, NASCAR should give a trophy for a driver that wrecks the most other drivers. LOL, says Shaw. So sort of like the iRacing, whatever iRacing points thing that you don't want to accumulate, damage meter or whatever damage rating. LOL Napa says hi. Say Kyle. Ryan Blaney drinks body armor and works at Advanced Auto Parts, and that would be such as OJ Martinsville 2017. I know that says NASCAR. Another theory why NASCAR and look, I'm not hating on Denny Hamlin. I'm just saying. So just don't let him bother you. If you do let him bother you, I don't know if you let him bother you or not. Another theory why NASCAR struggles to get young audiences because too much corporate propaganda. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. This is the new age is just not about corporate stuff, so it's a hard sell. How many backup cars do they think who he's wrecked? Everything sounds bad when you remember it. Says say Kyle. Look, there's not many Look, Denny Hamlin, you only remember him because he's so outspoken about people should drive clean, and then he does stuff like that. But every driver in the field, for the most part, drives rough. The exceptions being, of course, I would say Christopher Bell and Martin Truex. They usually are just being hypocrites because they'd wreck their grandma to get a win. This is a good booth for NASCAR. Alan Bestwick, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Petty says NASCAR. Yeah, that would actually be a pretty good booth. I like Kyle Petty's there to spice it up. Kevin Harvick would sort of keep it mellow and on an even keel. And Alan Bestwick, everybody misses old Bestwick. You do get to see him in the SRX when they're doing stuff, though. I believe Mike Joy retires after 2024. Adam Alexander takes over for Fox for 2025. Perfect timing, really, since Xfinity will be with the CW in 2025. It could happen. I don't know. I wasn't a Denny Hamlin fan until everyone told me I should hate him. Now he's one of my favorites, says Reefer. Yeah, I think he brings so much good to the sport. Like, it is what it is. You either like him or you don't. But I think he always keeps some type of conversation going, so I think he's good for the sport. Will Carson Hocevar get in a fight with someone next year? And look, he is playing up the villain role on purpose. Like, that is something he is strategically doing. So that's not to me, it's mostly an act, in my opinion. I don't know if Carson Hocevar will get in a fight with anybody next year. He's really seemed to tone it down, to be honest with you. But you never know. Kevin Harvick eats pizza from Hunt Brothers, pizza and subs from Subway. Says that sounds like not the worst meal ever, except for the Hunt Brothers pizza. The Hunt Brothers pizza, if you get it when it's first cooked, but normally those Hunt Brother pizzas are like sitting in those warmers for I feel like 7 or 8 days. It's a last option most of the time. Did you know that Ryan Newman will make his first Xfinity Series start since 2012? I did see that somewhere this weekend at Homestead-Miami for MBM Motorsports. I did see that somewhere, so that's pretty cool. I did not realize it had been that long there. Another freaking ad. Yeah, I mean, they're not even giving me they used to give me the option to block them. They're not even doing that anymore. Let's see here. Mark Langren, Bobby. I keep wondering when the day comes when the corporate realizes they are wrecking everything and how they will spin and play the situation. I mean, ironically enough, Denny Hamlin actually spoke out about that in the Jeff Gordon argument. So he actually agrees with you there. Almost the 2-hour mark, says one wise guy. Yep, and I've done it all without water style thing like Watkins Glen. You might see it at a road course. Adam Alexander has been in the booth before. Last time, I believe it was the Coke Zero 400 for the 2013 season. Kyle Petty is my choice for being in the booth, says Jamie Schweitzer. Whatever happened to Bill Weber, Earth 2 commentator now? I don't know. I have no idea what happened to Bill Weber. OJ and Toothpaste, hashtag Earth 2 asterisk. Please, NBC, fire Rick Allen. Love Homestead, still my favorite 1.5 mile, but Charlotte and Kansas are close. I expect Larson, Bell, Reddick to do well. Hamlin runs well there with Byron, has the best 1.5 mile average finished this season. So there you go. I haven't even broke down the 1.5s this year. I swear Josephus looks like Tony Hawk, Tony Hawk's long lost son. I can see that. I can see 100% where you're going with that, say Kyle. They do have a striking resemblance. I wonder if he can, if Speed Channel comes back and does NASCAR stuff. They are back. I just don't know in what type of capacity. Mark my words, the entire NASCAR community will be behind Denny Hamlin if he doesn't win the championship this year. He's been so great for the sport, says Roofer. Yeah, I think he is a good voice for the sport. Let's see, the 1.5 ads I got was like over 5 minutes ago, says Jamie. Rick Allen, Marty Reed Garrett in the booth for CW. I read an article earlier. Wow, so that's pretty stout. That's pretty stout. They got Ned Jarrett or Dale Jarrett maybe in the booth. My screen keeps lagging on me, says Dawson Fair. Yeah, YouTube. The past week, YouTube has been kind of glitchy. They're rolling out some type of new advertising deal, and I think that's been probably what the glitch is. They'll get it figured out though. They're Google. I'm watching 95. Benny was so good. Benny was the man. Also had Ernie in the booth because he was injured. Bob Jenkins was great. Bob Jenkins was also. That's probably the greatest booth they ever had was Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and Bob Jenkins. Adam Alexander called a cup race in New Hampshire in 2014 for TNT's last race. May not be the last. Keselowski won it, I believe. Same with me. Dawson Fair says, say Kyle. Bring back Dave Despain. Dave Despain's wind tunnel was the absolute bomb back in the day. What up, gang? Says Mark Barnum. Bill Weber is a magician. Last time I heard, I actually didn't mind him. He was really underrated. Yeah, I never had a problem with Bill Weber either. Good point there, Elite. Do you think SRX will take a trip to the desert still? Oh, that's a good question, one wise guy. Saudis have stupid money, so if they want to make it happen, they're not afraid to throw money at it. So I'm not going to discount it. Just once, but it was like at least 3 times in that race, OJ. Napa. OJ and Toothpaste, Bill Weber was a good commentator, I thought. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with Bill Weber. OJ and Toothpaste, Elite Precision, did you like Marty Reed in the booth calling Sam Hornish, Ron Hornish, and Carl Edwards Jr.? Everybody knows the man's name is Carl Edwards Jr. Let's not pretend like it's not. Me too. You're skipping a bunch too, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, it's a YouTube thing this time because I looked at the internet speed. The internet speed is actually good for once. It's actually been good since for me, says Kyle. Yeah, they were probably the best that ever did it. Rumble BB says Roofer. I've got a Rumble set up. I posted one video to it and I haven't really messed with it since. But we'll have to see. That might be something I can work on the off season. Like I would do the live stream at Rumble and then I would record the live stream and post it over here or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Did anybody catch Burton trying to say Josephus? Yeah. Hostiver. He was saying something weird. Hostiver, or he was saying. Well, he wasn't saying Hostivar. He was saying Hoser or something like that. It was so weird. Some of the stuff the Saudis are building is nuts. I've been watching stuff about the line for the last week. Crazy ambitious. Yeah, for sure. Burton sucks more than Denny and Bubbles. Says Mark Barnum. Cousin Carl for color commentator, says Jamie Schweitzer. Oil and gas prices go up every time the Saudi prince buys new racing camels. Actual fact, says Shah. That's crazy. Marty Reed, Homestead-Miami speed ad. Never forget that one as well as many others, says Napa Race fan. The hammering you here, LOL, says Elite. Worse with the lot lizard with a hair. Worse than a lot lizard with a hair lip. Says one wise guy. I don't know if everybody knows what a lot lizard is, but yeah, that's spicy. Who is your favorite NASCAR driver of all time? Says Dawson Fair. Probably a tie. Like I don't really have a favorite of all time. Probably a tie between Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt Sr. Those were the two guys that I pulled for growing up. So I would probably have to just flip a coin between those heyday for sure. What are the first 4 races next year? Says Mark Langren. Well, you've got the LA Coliseum, then you've got Daytona, then you've got Atlanta, and then you've got Sonoma. Some type of order. That is, I think, roughly the order, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I could be off about that. I just wanted to hear Burton say Harrison sucks or he ran out of talent, or just talk about him like Ross when Harrison Burton spins just one time. Says say Kyle. Yeah, that would be. I would be really surprised if you ever talked about Harrison Burton the way he talked about Ross. Eye Candy, best segment on TV. Prove me wrong, says Bones. I appreciate you, Bones. There is the fist bump. Let's see here. I have a Speed Channel baseball cap. Yeah, Speed Channel. If you actually went to the races and went to the Speed Show lives, they were live. They were throwing out all kinds of gear back in the day. It was really cool. Daytona, Atlanta, like they would actually put, like if you held up signs, they would put your signs on TV. And I had a buddy with me one time. He was 6'6", and he's pretty crazy. So he made a sign. I said, "Hey man, if you make Final Coffin, for the Chase drivers' hopes, says OJ and Toothpaste. If you got any questions about Rumble, you can ask Mersh or Royce from Revenge of the Sis. BB says, Super Roofer, I can actually tell the difference between Junior and Burt now, so that's a thing, says Shaw. Junior cool, Burton whiny and annoying. So Shaw, not a Jeff Burton fan. Mark Cool, Taylor Swift still goes to Chiefs games. Does that make you want to listen to an album of hers while you're working on race cars? I mean, you just gotta shake it off. You can't be a hater, so you gotta get on board with Tay Tay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of her music, but she does have a few songs here and there. But man, I have never seen somebody so overblown as far as popularity goes. It just shows that I'm getting old. And the artists that I think are awesome are no longer artists that younger people think are awesome. So whatever, even though she's not even a younger artist, she's freaking been around forever, but I don't know. She's got a good following, and I'm not going to hate on that, but her music is not targeted for me, and I don't think she gives a crap. So it is what it is. I'll start the tears flowing. LA Coliseum again. Slowly I turn step by step, says Sunny V. Let's see. LOL, Shosh, Junior should just say something wild and blame it on Burton. Says Say Kyle. That would be the ultimate. The ultimate there, bait and switch there, Say Kyle. LOL, says Roofer. Mahomes and Kelsey buying into a stake of Alpine, or is it Alpine F1 apparently? So there you go. Got some more people jump butt off, says Mark Langren. Burton saying William Byron is like fingernails on a blackboard, says Jamie Schweitzer. You think Michael Jordan should do a one-off for 2311 next year at Talladega or Sonoma? They talked about it on either Denny's podcast or the Dale Jr. Download. He's jumped in the simulator before, and it's not for him. Like, first off, he's 6'6", and it would be just an absolute monster for him to get in the race car. So I don't think we're going to see that happen. Do you like Christmas, BB? Says Dawson Fair. I mean, who doesn't like Christmas? I don't know. Yeah, of course I like Christmas. Clash at the Coliseum should be in the final year in 2024. Move it somewhere else. It's an exhibition. Don't have to keep it in the same place forever. Yeah, I think if they moved it around, that would definitely help. Yes, okay, inside Oklahoma, says Mark Langren. Says Shaw. I mean, yeah, like Christmas is good if you just get to show up and eat. Otherwise, it is definitely a big hassle. I agree. I get you on that side of it. Blank space, I prevail, says Stupid Roofer. So there you go. I prevail. So Roofer, let's see here. I was looking up something earlier and I forgot about it. Tricks. Oh, yes, I think it was Say Kyle. Yeah, so Say Kyle, it was either you or Napa. I did find out that Walmart sells the Snoop cereal, so we might get a Snoop cereal taste test here before too long. Solid as well. Roofer says Say Kyle, so he's a High Prevail fan as well. I'm not familiar with Blank. It's either Blank Space or I Prevail. I don't know which one's the name of the band, but I'm not familiar with them, so I have to check them out. Cereal was not for me, says Say Kyle. Okay, so I have to check it out. I appreciate you. You're one of those good friends. Like, this tastes terrible. Have a bite. So I feel you, brother. Let's see. How long are you going to stay on here, VV? Says Dawson Fair. I don't know. Probably going to be wrapping it up here in just a minute. Good funny song about Jack Johnson. Says Mark Barnum. Blank Space is the T-Swizzle song. Says in the situation, but typically that's how it goes. Snoop cereal. They sell it down here at Walmart, so I will be able to try the old Snoop cereal. So we might do a taste test on one of these episodes here. Have to find a way to have like milk and cereal where it wouldn't be obstructing my range of motion here. So we'll try to get that figured out. But all right, that looks like that's the last question. So that's going to be all for this one. I appreciate y'all hanging out. It was fun as always. Shaw says peace, Hooters, and leave a thumbs up. So yeah, if you want to leave a thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. All right, I'll check you guys on the next one. Robin Marks, appreciate you, my friend, with the super chat there. 5 years ago today, Canada legalized cannabis. Happy canniversary. So there you go, Canada and cannabis. All right, y'all take them easy. Peace.